everyone, it's Ariel from Keys to My Life, and we're back with part 4 of our Disney College Program series. Today we're going to be talking about the process between when you finish your phone interview to when you arrive at Disney on check-in day. So let's get started.
Alright, so after you do your phone interview, you get to breathe. That's really stressful. Now the waiting game begins. What you're going to do is you're going to be sitting there and waiting and waiting and waiting. It could be very quick. My first time doing the program, it was about 5 days.
Yep.
It was super fast. This last time we did the program, this time, sorry, when we're doing the program, it took, what was it, like almost a month?
It was
over a month, like 5 weeks. Gosh, it was terrible. By comparison,
ridiculous.
You know, I was getting a little nervous, despite what I'd been hearing, just because of the fact that it was so quick the time before. Basically, there's two places you want to look. You want to look in your email, firstly, and you want to look on your Disney College Program page, your
dashboard. On your
dashboard. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. When you log in, it'll give you an idea of where you are. It'll say in progress. Most likely, it's a submission and then in progress. One thing, it does have a status bar. However, the first thing you want to know is that for the status bar, it does not go up as time goes on during the in process thing. It'll just be in process and then accepted. So some people
technically it goes into post offer stage and then it resets after that. But basically, if you get to that point, ignore it.
Yeah. So. But yeah, don't. Some people obsess over that, how high it is or whatever. Don't worry about that. When you're checking your email, it'll come in there. It could come in your junk email folder though, so be sure to be aware of that. Some people have not checked their junk mail folder, and it came weeks ago. Oh my gosh, I just found it, and then they're calling Disney. I honestly don't know if it worked for them. It's possible that they didn't even get in because you only have a certain number of days to accept once you've actually been accepted.
Yeah, I think it's a 10-day time period from the day you get your email, and there are 3 steps, so they're very particular that you have to get through all 3 steps before the end of the 10 days. It does not reset with each step, so keep that in mind.
Which includes program fees. So be sure you know what you're doing ahead of time.
Have the money ready.
Yeah. Okay, so once you have waited long enough, and you get your if you assuming God forbid you actually get the no longer in consideration email, if you do get it, if you do get the acceptance email, then they're going to start sending you a barrage of emails between then and when you are checking in, with tons of different things. And Ariel's going to talk to you about that.
Yeah, so they're going to send you a bunch of random emails that are really not that important. But there are a bunch of important emails that you do need to watch for. So the first one you're going to see is the first one, when you first submit your first 3 steps, it's the one that's going to confirm your arrival date that you chose. Because you do choose your arrival date when you get accepted. So save that email so you know what date you're arriving, because there are different arrival dates. The next important email you're going to get is going to talk about classes. It is not, if you're doing Disney World program, it is not required that you take a class through Disney World unless your college requires it for your major. If you're doing the Disneyland program, you are required to take at least 1 class through Disney. So it depends on what program you're doing. Keep that in mind, because they do have different types of classes. They have the seminars, they have specific classes to your major, and they do have different course loads. So if you're also taking classes from your home college, just be aware of what kind of time you have. Disney does take classes into account when they do your schedule, but it's really not that big of an account. So keep that in mind if you have a hard time dealing with homework. I definitely recommend taking at least 1 class through Disney, even if it's just a seminar course.
Definitely. They
have really classes. In our first program, he took Marketing U. I took Blended Learning, which was basically learning about specific aspects of the company, and a lot of times I was doing stuff in the park for class, playing in the park. So, I mean, it was a really fun class. He did Marketing U, which is basically like getting your resume set up, getting used to interviews. So there are some very valuable classes that you can take.
That was such a good class. I mean, it's like your traditional resume course from like high school, college, but totally beefed up Disney style. Yeah, you got to do group interviews with higher ups in the company and stuff like that. I would definitely recommend it if you get the chance.
Yes. So when you get the first email about classes, Disney should send you an email first telling you when education registration will open. We only got like 1 day's warning, I think, and it happened to be when we were both at work. So our awesome friend Stephanie, shout out to Stephanie, signed us up for our class for Disney World. So if you have a friend that's willing to do it, that's awesome. It is very competitive for some of the classes. Like, for example, we are doing Disney Heritage, and that is one of the most popular courses that Disney offers, and it is only offered at Disney World. Disneyland does not offer it. So if you're able to get into it, count yourself lucky, because a lot of people were waitlisted. So just be aware of when it opens up and be ready for that. After that, sometime within about a month and a half before your arrival date, you're going to get an email with your new hire documents. Do not miss this email, because if you wait too long to do this, they will send you a second email from, I believe it's Connexa.com. They're the actual company that does the new hire paperwork, and it looks like a weird spam email. So a lot of people had some issues with that this time around. So just watch for the initial email, because you'll know it'll come from Disney. And it is a long, probably 15-20 minute process of filling out just a ton of documents. Doing direct deposit, getting, if you have a spouse or children, they're going to talk about that. Just everything they need to know, basically, to have you ready for check-in day. So be ready for that. Make sure you have information, like, I believe, wants your social. If you have a spouse, your spouse's social. I don't know if it wants your children's social if you have children, because we don't have children. It probably...
I don't think so.
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
But just have stuff like that ready. And like I said, I think it's up to a week that you have before they send out the second version of that email. But those are very important to have done. If you don't have them done by check-in day, I honestly don't know what happens, but there's a good chance that Disney will not let you check in that day. You have to fill out all this paperwork. So just keep in mind to get that filled out. After that, about 2 weeks before your check-in day, you will get your housing email. Now, they're supposed to give you warning when housing opens.
Supposed to be in the
We did not get warning for ours. And you only have a 3-day window to register and link up with roommates if you choose to do that for your specific arrival date. So, for example, we got our email, I think it was a Tuesday, and we had until a certain time on that Thursday to fill that out. Make sure, if you are linking up with roommates, that you have if you're going to be the leader in doing the linking up, that you have all of the roommate IDs. If not, you cannot link up with them. You have to have their roommate ID. And their roommate ID is different from the candidate ID that you've seen on previous emails. So be aware of that, because if you enter the candidate ID, it won't work. Make sure you know all your roommates' IDs and your apartment and room number preferences, because it'll ask you to rank all those. And even for us, with just the two of us and doing our marriage certificate, because if you're married, you do upload your marriage certificate, it still took us almost 15 minutes for both of us to get finished. So if you have more roommates, it probably takes longer, because you have to get all of their IDs, link them up, then each roommate has to go in and approve the link, and it takes a long time. So make sure that you are aware that's going to be coming up, so you're ready for that. There have been issues where some roommates didn't get their new hire email, so because of that, they didn't get their housing email. If that is the case for you, please email housing and or recruiting right away. I believe the emails are both on the Disney College Program website. I think the housing one is just www.housing@WaltDisneyWorld.com. I could be wrong. You can always Google it. I know both of the emails are on there, and the recruiting one is the same, just recruiting instead of housing. I know if you Google them, you can find the emails. Because I've heard mixed signals about this. Some people have said if you link without a roommate, you cannot link with them. They are stuck and left on their own. Some people have said that if you link with them, you can go back and later and add them up. I don't know if that's the case, because we didn't deal with that. But you don't want to risk that, especially if you do really want to have someone as your roommate. You can always split off in a smaller group. So definitely contact them right away if you don't have either your new hire email or your housing email, and the rest of your roommates do, because you don't want to miss out on that window. If you do not fill out your housing within that 2-3 day window, you will not be pre-registered for check-in, and basically in check-in they put you in a waiting queue, basically what they call it, and they just put you wherever there's room for you. You don't get to choose your roommates. You don't get to pick your apartment. You're just stuck. So definitely take the chance, find some roommates. There's always Facebook groups, and link up with someone and get that housing done. After that, let's see, today is the 21st. The day we're recording this is the 21st. Our check-in day is February 1st, so it's about a week and a half out for us. Oh, that's so crazy. We have a week and a half.
Last day of work is tomorrow.
Disney will send you a final email with your specific check-in time on your check-in day. Even though the initial email will say, please don't arrive earlier than 7 a.m., that does not mean that you can check in at 8 a.m. Everyone will get a different check-in time depending on, what apartment complex they're in and how many roommates. So please respect that. Like, if you get a check-in time for 10 a.m., do not come at 8 a.m. They will be very upset with you. You will hold up the line, and you just make it harder for everyone else to check in. So make sure you're aware of that time and respect that time. So like I said, you're going to get a ton of other emails from them. You're going to get ones about different pages on their website, like what to pack, advice for check-in day. If you want to check those out, those are definitely good resources, but keep in mind they're not the only resources you can find. Do a lot of Googling, especially with the packing list. Many people tend to overpack. I know I did. I packed way more clothes. Well, this one brought way too much last time.
I brought cars.
Yeah.
Like multiple and forgot that, yeah.
Yeah. One for me, my biggest thing was clothes. You will not need half of the clothes you think you need. Don't even bother packing more than 2 or 3 pairs of pants or a week's worth of shirts. Because most of the time, you're going to be in your costume. And outside of that, if you're in the parks, you're going to be reusing stuff all the time. So don't pack as much as you think you need. Keep that in mind. Beyond that, they're not going to send you a ton of emails that are that important. It's always good to save them just in case. I know I saved all of mine just in case. But those are the only big ones. So now, next week, we have decided because the first for us is our check-in day, so we're not going to do the check-in day vlog like I originally planned. We are going to be posting a video talking about what to bring to check-in day, because there are specific things you need to have for check-in day that you can actually hurt yourself if you don't have. Yeah. So we're going to be talking about what to bring to check-in day next Monday on the 1st. And then the week after that, the 8th, I'll be posting my blog about check-in day and just everything we do. And we'll go from there. I do have a couple more videos planned out for the month of February. I don't know if I'm set in stone on those, so I'm not going to talk about them until I really decided. But we are going to, at least I am going to try and continue this weekly video series with the DCP. It may taper down a little bit more as I get more into the program and I have less to talk about. But we'll see. We'll kind of go from there.
Turn to experiences rather than...
Yeah, so we'll see. If you guys have any suggestions on anything you want to see in the parks, like if you want to see ride videos, you want me to try some ride videos depending on the ride, let me know. Leave comments down below if there's any specific dining experience or meet and greets you want to see. Let me know. I'm happy to do that. So like I said, next week we're going to be talking about what to bring to check-in day, so be watching for that. And next week, we will be in Florida checking in! So if you're wanting to see more about our check-in day experiences, please subscribe. If you like this video, leave a like and check out the rest of our series. And we hope you guys have a magical day. Bye!
Bye.